Well, hello guys, hello. Welcome back to the Big Fat Psychic channel. I'm so pleased to be reading again for you today. Okay, so we're going straight into this one. Elvis's grandson. What happened, I believe, why did he kill himself, okay, is the question. So let's see if we can get a definitive answer. Let's have a look then. Okay, so I have to tell you, I have read on this, so I am aware that I grew up in the Church of Scientology, that his mother went through, marriage after marriage, not very good with the money, lost it, so had to sue a manager because the manager reduced the Elvis Foundation from millions all the way down to £14,000. I mean, that's devastating, isn't it? So clearly not right. Okay, so I believe it was Lisa, who was her daughter, and she gave birth to the lad. For some reason, his name's gone now. His name's gone. He'll come back. Anyway, so we know what we're talking about. He put a shotgun to his mouth and blew his head off, that takes some doing, doesn't it, eh? You have to be in a right state about that. So rather than look at how he did it, because we know, we're going to look at what was going through his mind at the time, okay? Maybe that will help us. People who commit suicide, by the way, they're not selfish. I know people say they're selfish, okay? And it's selfish to leave us all. But in actual fact, it's selfish to stay and just wallow in misery. Some people just can't help it. There is a thing, like I said, there's like a pull towards it, okay? It's to do with the soul. It could be like an error. You get errors in DNA, so popping souls to the earth. There's some things can go wrong there as well. So let's have a look and see what was going on with this little lad. I believe he was 27. What a bloody age! What a bloody age! So tell us, how did oh, it's done my head in now. What's his bloody name? Ben? That's it. Benjamin. Ben. Okay, so how did, let's have a look. How did Benjamin feel about Scientology? Let's go there first. Well, people might say he said it screwed people up, but I think for him, it came at a time when they needed stability and money. And I'm not sure if his mother met somebody in Scientology, and so he was born into it. Was he maybe born into it? I think he was born into it. So for him, that would just be a life that all he knows, okay? As you know, Scientology are very, very secluded. Yeah, I feel like he was born into it. I'm getting a ring or proposal as well. Sorry, guys. Ace of Pentacles. I'm getting some kind of ring or anything. So do you know what? I do feel like this woman's met his dad, and he's been born into it. Okay, maybe they've got married, and so I think Scientology are like, I don't think you can just go having kids without being married, I suppose, in their lot. So, yeah, I kind of feel like that's the setup. He was born into it. Born into it. Okay, so born into it. Right. That's how he feels about Scientology. How did he feel about Elvis? How did he feel about his grandfather, Elvis? So, it was Elvis's grandson, so he couldn't escape, okay? It was always going to be. I think, sometimes he wished he wasn't, because you get added pressures, press after you, or stories, or your mum's, antics and everything. And because he was Elvis's grandson and his mum was the daughter, he was never going to get away from the fact as well. He wasn't. He was just like stuck. And I think he kind of worried as well that he would face the same issues that Elvis did. Drink, drugs, Yeah, he was always going to be Elvis's grandson. That kind of trapped him. That it really did. It kind of trapped him, and he felt stuck. It kind of felt, I'm getting towards his maybe 22, 23. He's starting to feel like he can't go on. He can't go on. He can't progress in anything. He can't be a superstar. He can't be, he don't want to be just Elvis's son. He has no kind of idea. Identity for himself. Got to remember, growing up in Scientology and not knowing any different, well, it's a different world, isn't it, to the ones that we come out with. So, for some reason, I am getting, this isn't Scientology's fault, okay? There's many people that leave Scientology and they have everything, when you come out, you can't talk to your family, you can't do this, you can't connect with somebody. The most famous case is Tom Cruise, with his daughter. And I'm not sure if it was Nicole Kidman or somebody else, but I think both was nice. So he felt stuck where Elvis was concerned. How did he feel about his mother? How did he feel about his mother with all the marriages and the money troubles and, their press intrusion? How did he feel about his mum? He knows his mother wasn't right in a lot of things, but, that's the way life is, when somebody doesn't get it right, we just have to, move on, don't we? It's a waste to constantly criticise somebody and throw back things. So I'm getting the sense that he knew things wasn't right, okay? I think she had a few marriages, maybe. Yeah, I'm getting a few marriages here. A few marriages, maybe in the family. Maybe, I feel a few for some reason. Yeah, so, she never seemed to, she didn't know what she wanted, so therefore she was just coasting from probably one relationship to another and taking all the bad things into each relationship. If you don't know who you are, if you don't know what you want in life, how the hell are you going to achieve it, if you don't know? You're just grasping at straws. And I do feel like at the time, maybe his mum has been, led out of necessity rather than out of personal choice. Why did Benjamin turn towards drink and drugs? Knowing, about Elvis as well, what happened. But you see, when you're a kid or a young adult, you don't really think of those things. You don't associate. You don't actually mature. I think I read somewhere, so I've always stuck to it, that your last brain change physically is between the age of 23 to 27. So only then can you have that foundation where, you are now fully an adult, okay? You've got the brain with it, the emotions and the thoughts and the intellect. So from therefore, you're no longer, blind to anything and classed as immature, okay? And that's probably why, because it's a late stage like that, it takes us another 15 years maybe to start appreciating and connecting our own experiences. Why did he turn to drink and drugs? It kind of felt like it was a disappointment. You know, I feel like this poor lad doesn't want to please himself. He wants to please others. And by not being himself, okay, I feel like he suffered with terrible, terrible lows, you know. He didn't feel disappointed by anyone. He felt he disappointed everyone, okay? In his head, he just wasn't good enough. He just couldn't cope. He just couldn't do this right. He couldn't get that right. He was his own worst critic. Nobody around him outside was leading him consciously to believe that, okay? But we are our own worst critics. And I just feel like where his mind is, it's all his signals have got mixed up. Very, very difficult to treat depression. I would know. I would know. You know, no one way suits everybody else. So I don't feel like he's gone on to medication, pharmaceuticals first to find a relief. But it hasn't worked. And it hasn't worked because it is the wrong drug for him. Most people take tablets for years and they don't do anything, you know. Go get off that tablet, go find another tablet until it works, you know, if that's how it has to be. And definitely if it requires medication, if it's a brain chemical imbalance, if it's chronic headaches, if it's, you know, hip pain, you know, don't stick with treatments that aren't working. Give them time, but don't, okay? So he's like this. He can't understand, you know, he's taking these tablets, he's seeing these people, he's talking, but he still doesn't feel better. You know, he still doesn't feel better. And in his head now is, I'm a failure, it's me, I'm wired wrong, you know, there's something wrong with me. And he's been beating himself up and up and up and up, on and off, you know. I see very little stable, happy periods in between. He's longing to escape, okay. I think he used to pray that he won't wake up, you know, so that really it could be an accident and he's not put his family through it. But he just felt ruined. He was ruined, you know. He just wanted it to... He wanted it to end and he saw no end to it. It wasn't getting any better no matter what he tried to do. And that's quite representative, actually, of a lot of people who suffer with, you know, severe depression. There's a difference to being low, you know, reactive depression. So you get low when you've lost somebody, or, you know, you get low because you've lost your dog. You've got low because you've lost your job, you know, low because your wife cheated on you or your husband cheated on you. They're all examples of reactive depression. This one is chemical. This one is chemical, and that's why he's seeking to escape. You know, his symptoms prompt him to go out, you know, and he could look like he's having the time of his life and he's happy-go-lucky and everything else, but deep inside, you know, this is hallowed ground. On the day that he was, you know, before he committed suicide, on that day, when he got up in the morning, what was he thinking? That things would never get better. That things would never get better. That's what he thought when he woke up that morning, you know, that he was stuck in this cycle of misery. He couldn't get out, you know. Like I said, he'd done everything, he'd gone everywhere to try and fix this chemical imbalance, whatever it was. It is major depression. And he's just stuck on that same wheel, just stuck, feeling trapped inside his own head all the time. That things wasn't going to get any better. Waking up with that, and it's a major card as well, so it was pretty full on, spot on. When he woke up that morning, he just thought, I can't deal with this anymore. I can't. He couldn't wait he didn't see that things could get better in the future, because it was just going off his like past experiences, and that's all, that's what he thought. That's all he would ever experience. At what point did he, plan to take his own life? At what point? If it's swords, I want really quickly, okay? But this guy I can see has been toying with this for at least for years, I'm going to say, for years, but especially the last 10 months before he died. So when did he decide to kill himself? He was upset all day. And even to the point where before he kills himself, he was trying to make sense of it, trying to find a way out, trying to find his way. I kind of get we shouldn't have left him alone. I'm getting told people we shouldn't have left him alone. So he was finding a way to do it as well, okay? He was finding, so this, if he's woke up in the morning feeling like that, then later, I feel, in the afternoon, because I feel like there was some sleep past to about 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And so from there on, he's triggering, and these thoughts are gathering momentum, getting stronger, the pull of going to the other side, it's getting stronger. So, he was finding a way, he was working out how to do it. That's how he spent his afternoon. This wasn't rash, okay? This wasn't rash. He was trying to think of ways, how could I kill myself? But while he's thinking that, he's also, he's also trying to think of a way out as well. It's almost like he's made a decision to do something, and now he feels like he has to stick to it. Okay, so he was on and off, but he was thinking of ways to do it. As he put the gun into his mouth and blew his head off, what was he thinking? What at that time? Show me. Oh dear. I don't know whether he was at a party or something, but he didn't want anybody to find him. So he was really scared that he'd be caught out. Not what he was doing, but that somebody, would witness it or see it or try and stop him, that he'd be caught out. Even, he was behaving quite oddly up to that point, and he didn't want to draw attention. So also, as well, I don't know why, but I do feel like a party, like a gathering. And I feel like he didn't want to upset the evening, but it was too late. Gun was in his mouth. All he had to do was press the trigger, and we know now that he did. So he was still thinking about others, even though he was doing it. And I know people will say, yeah, but, he was sat there, who blows their head off at a party or what have you, while other people are there. Well, he didn't have no choice, really. It's an opportunity for him. So, although there was regret there, I don't think he was thinking about, how the guests would be feeling afterwards, or whoever it is that is around him. I just feel like, boom, he was sat down as well. He was sat down. Yeah, he was definitely sat down. He didn't trust people, Maybe he thought, oh, what would so and so think? Like a group of people, what would they think? Like maybe an organisation, You know, look, he just saw it that things was never going to get better. He was never going to be cured. I don't even really think that he saw it as an illness as well, which it really, really is. I mean, it's, you know, a big killer is depression. I mean, every year on the Humber Bridge, come New Year's Eve, they put some, you know, the block, the roads, and the pathways to the public, because that many people choose at that time, you know, to jump off. And I've also been in a car coming on the way to the hospital where I worked at the time, and the road was closed off. And the road was closed off because this body, this jumper, on a windy day, well, it was night actually, but on a windy evening, that it was so windy, the body went across onto the A63, just close to the A63. I mean, can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? I mean, oh, it's just unbelievable, isn't it? So I don't view things, I don't view suicide people as, you know, they're still victims. I know you're a victim as well, but, you know, I think it would be selfish for me to keep them here, you know, and living that fake life and waking up traumatised every day by their own soul, you know, let it go. Just let them go. I know a lot of people will be upset maybe by that, you know, and not understand it, but, you know, I do see the other side, and there's been plenty of times I think, oh, you know, I can't wait to get there, I cannot wait. So it all depends really, you know, we each have our different reasons, and there's no one way to deal with a suicide in the family. It is very, very heartbreaking, but this was all about what was going on in his head and how he feels about this. So, you know, I'm not pro suicide at all. It leaves a lot of victims behind, doesn't it? But anyway, okay, so yeah, back soon with another reading. Bye now. Bye-bye.